Pradhana, Director of Planning and Statistics Department, and I have with me respected Commissioner for Public Persons with Disabilities, Goa. The press conference would be in such a manner that I will be first talking about the program, Swaympurna program, its background, and then respected Commissioner will also speak about it. Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is making India a self-reliant nation, is the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. This Atmanirbhar Bharat mission was launched around 2 years before on 13th May 2020 by the Government of India. Inspired by the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission of Government of India, a program Atmanirbhar Bharat Swaympurna Goa was launched on 1st October 2020 by the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant. You all know that the Swaympurna program is getting popularity. Each and every person in Goa is aware about this program. So much so that the Swaympurna Goa program is becoming more popular in other states in the country because of its performance and achievements. And it gives me immense pleasure to inform you all that more and more government servants are submit their willingness to the nodal department, that is Department of Planning, to become Swaympurna Mitra, to work in the society and ensure that each and every person in the society becomes a beneficiary of one of the other beneficiaries oriented scheme of the government. And this is a big achievement I in person can see in recent times. Government has emphasized 10 focal points for implementation under the Swaympurna Goa program. One of these 10 focal points is the aids to Divyang and senior citizens. Let me first talk about Divyang persons in Goa. As per the census in 2011, the report of the Chief Commissioner of Public with Disability figures around 33,000 persons with disabilities are in Goa. Around 5,000 persons with disabilities are there in each of the following categories, namely disability in seeing, disability in hearing, disability in speech, disability in movement. Around 1,800 persons are mentally retarded in Goa, and around 2,575 persons are having some multiple disabilities. And in all, around 2% of the Goa's population is persons with some disabilities. Now, when talking about the senior citizens, there are around 1,63,495 senior citizens in Goa, of which around 45% are males and 55% are females. As you all know that most of the senior citizens in Goa are registered as beneficiaries in one or the other programs of the Government of Goa. However, for any reason, if any senior citizen is left out, the aim under the Swaympurna program is to cover each eligible person under one or the other beneficiaries oriented scheme. There is one scheme called under ADIP scheme, Assistance to Disabled Persons for Purchase of Aids and Appliances. Under Swaympurna Goa 1.0 program, around 2,175 persons with disabilities were identified, and government has distributed them aids and appliances worth rupees 1.73 crores in Goa. Under Swaympurna Goa 1.0 program, 778 UDID cards were distributed to the persons. UDID card is a card which is admissible, usable throughout the country. It has all kind of information, and persons with disabilities need not to carry with them multiple photocopies for various purposes. Now coming to the main issue for which this press conference is called. As you know that under Swaympurna Goa 2.0 program, theme-based webinar programs are conducted every month. And as such, the fourth such webinar program shall be conducted on 9th July, Saturday at 10:30 AM onwards. Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant has decided to hold this live program for Divyangs and senior citizens. Director Department of Social Welfare and respected Commissioner for Public Persons with Disabilities shall address the audience throughout the state. all Swaympurna Mitras, Taluka Nodal Officers will be organizing this program in various panchayat municipalities where the persons will be attending and interacting with the speakers. After the webinar programs on Saturday 9th July, this mission of covering each and every Divyang persons in Goa, senior citizens in Goa, and bringing them, making them a beneficiary under one or the other beneficiaries oriented program would be the responsibility of all the Swaympurna Mitras and Taluka Nodal Officers. And this would be to achieve the target of the government. As we have heard of the Honorable Chief Minister at every forum says, the sole aim of the Swaympurna program is no one is left behind. And lastly, in this matter, I would like to appeal that we are around 50,000 government servants in Goa and 19,000 persons are only required to be covered under Divyang category to provide them benefits under more than 17 schemes available in Goa. If every government servant in a mission mode covers 10 households around his house where he stays and he spares some 10 minutes every day, perhaps Goa abilities Goa to kindly address now.
As Director has already mentioned that there is going to be a webinar tomorrow which will highlight various schemes and various avenues for persons with disabilities. As State Commission for Persons with Disabilities, we are trying to create awareness with regards to RPWD Act, Right of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. This act actually originally was had been notified in 1995, but there was no much awareness which was created in the following years. The State Commission has conducted various programs in last 6 months, and the press also has given wide publicity. As Mr. Saxena already has said about UDID cards, the figures are slightly higher than 19,000 because as per the RPWD Act 1995, there were only 7 disabilities which were notified, but under the new Act, there are now 21 disabilities. So it is 3 times the disabilities, and the census that the government has is of 2011. So if we consider the certification which has happened for persons with disabilities in last 10 years or 11 years, the figures would definitely increase because there are more various other disabilities which are now covered under RPWD Act. About UDID card, we have to, what we are doing right now is, as everyone knows, there are field workers or field assistants which are there of social welfare department. They are going house to house to check if the UDID card registration is done by person with disability, and in last 2 months we have got great response, and we have almost registered more than 3,000 persons with disability on UDID portal. Getting registration on UDID portal is very important to avail not only the state schemes, but there are various other central government schemes. For tomorrow's webinar, we are going to speak about these schemes of the state government, and we would request the Swaympurna Mitras to take these schemes to the doorsteps of persons with disability. We cannot expect or should not expect that persons with disability should visit any of the government office to avail the schemes. He should not be entering any of the government office because it is troublesome for him to travel from place to any government offices. And we have also requested the government that whatever schemes are there of state government, it should be made accessible first, accessible for persons with disability. When we talk about accessible, the websites have to be accessible, and we already had at least 4 to 5 meetings with IT department, and they are in the process of making these websites accessible. So if I'm a visually impaired person, how am I supposed to read the website? Because all the government ads are going on the website, all the schemes are coming in the newspaper. So to make it accessible, we are trying to push the departments, and once this is made accessible, it will be easier for persons with disability to avail the schemes of state as well as central government. We also had some major sensitization workshop for various heads of educational institutions here almost 1,400. But it is just a start. We would be requesting Swayambhurna Mitras to take it to ground level and take it to the schools and ensure that not a single person with disability child or children with special needs that we call is denied admission to schools, because there are facilities of the government, resource rooms are there, aids and appliances are there, and which need to be told to the management of the schools, and we have to apprise them these are available and they should apply and start these resource rooms in the schools. Other major issue that we are going to focus is on Accessible India campaign. Under Accessible India campaign, the government buildings have to be made accessible for persons with disability in terms of building of ramps, hydraulic lifts, and other facilities. We have already taken around 30 buildings initially, which half the job is complete. We expect the remaining work to be completed in next 3 months, and after that we are going to take another 40 government buildings. This will also include 5 beaches which will be made accessible for persons with disabilities, where a person with disability having a wheelchair also will be able to enter the water with a special wheelchair. The ramps will be made. We have identified Baga, Kalangut, Palaulam, Kolwa, and Aramol beach to make them accessible for persons with disability. This also will be done in the second phase. In tomorrow's webinar, there are various schemes, as I said earlier, central government schemes. The one major scheme is which is known as Swavalamban scheme, under which up to 50 lakhs rupees of loans are given for a person with disability to start his business. This scheme is also available for house repairs, construction of houses at a very minimal rate of interest, which is 3 to 5%. And there are no takers for it at the moment. There is not a single application which has come to date under this scheme. So we are going to talk about all these schemes for tomorrow's Swayambhurna Goa program. And I'm very happy that Honorable CM has considered disability as the only focus area for tomorrow's webinar, because this has not happened in the past, and though Honorable CM is insisting to ensure that all the schemes reach to the last person, as Mr. Saxena just said, it has to reach the last person, and more awareness is required, and I'm sure Swayambhurna Mitras are doing a great job, and they will do a great job in terms of making available whatever is needed, whether it is schemes, whether it is UDID card, whether it is making schools and public buildings accessible. They will play a major role under Swayambhurna Goa program.
What time is the webinar?
Webinar will start at 10:30 tomorrow.
10:30 onwards, and it will be live available on the CMO's YouTube and Facebook.
It's a 2-hour program.
It is 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours. So,
thank you very much.